The silent witness of Ravenwood Manor. Sound of a ticking clock, faint wind howling, distant thunder. Tonight, we delve into a chilling tale, one whispered through the ancient halls of Ravenwood Manor, a place where secrets linger like the scent of old dust and forgotten dreams. It's a story of betrayal, ambition, and a truth that lay buried for decades, waiting for the right eyes to uncover it. The Ill-Fated Gala. Our story begins on a stormy autumn night in 1957. Rain lashed against the leaded glass windows of Ravenwood, illuminating the grand ballroom where Lord Alastair Finch, a titan of industry and a man whose influence stretched across continents, was celebrating his 60th birthday. The air was thick with the scent of expensive perfume, aged whiskey, and unspoken rivalries. Among the glittering guests were Lady Eleanor Finch, his much younger, enigmatic wife, known for her captivating beauty and even more captivating secrets. Then there was Marcus Thorne, Lord Finch's ambitious protégé, whose eyes held a hunger for power barely concealed beneath his polished charm. And finally, Dr. Eris Thorne, Marcus's estranged older brother, a brilliant but disgraced historian, whose presence at the gala was as unexpected as it was unsettling. A sudden darkness. The celebration was in full swing when, precisely at the stroke of midnight, the grand crystal chandelier above the ballroom flickered and died, plunging the room into disorienting darkness. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd, quickly followed by nervous laughter. It was just a power surge, surely. But then, a horrifying scream pierced the sudden silence, a scream that tore through the festive atmosphere like a jagged knife. When the emergency lights flickered on moments later, illuminating the scene in an eerie, sickly yellow glow, chaos erupted. Lord Alastair Finch lay sprawled across the ornate Persian rug, a gleaming silver letter opener protruding from his chest. His eyes, once so sharp and commanding, now stared blankly at the high ceiling, forever silenced. The arrival of Inspector Davies. The local constabulary, led by the stoic and sharp-witted Inspector Thomas Davies, arrived within the hour. The manor was sealed, the guests interrogated. Davies knew immediately this wasn't a simple robbery gone wrong. The manor was impenetrable, and the killer had struck with audacious precision amidst a room full of people. His initial suspects were clear. Lady Eleanor, the grieving widow, whose tears seemed to dry remarkably quickly. She stood to inherit a vast fortune. Was her grief a performance? Marcus Thorne, the ambitious protégé who had much to gain from Lord Finch's demise, including control over the immense Finch Corporation. His alibi felt a little too perfect. Dr. Eris Thorne. The estranged brother, whose bitter resentment towards Lord Finch was well known. Alastair had publicly humiliated Eris years ago, ruining his academic career. Was this his long-awaited revenge? A web of deceit. Inspector Davies meticulously pieced together the events of that night. The murder weapon, the distinctive silver letter opener, was identified as belonging to Lord Finch himself, usually kept on his study desk. How had it made its way to the ballroom? He discovered hidden relationships and simmering tensions beneath the polished surface of Ravenwood society. Lady Eleanor was secretly deeply in debt, her lavish lifestyle far exceeding her allowance. Marcus Thorne had been caught embezzling minor funds from the corporation, a secret Lord Finch had been on the verge of exposing. And Dr. Eris Thorne had recently returned from years abroad, seemingly obsessed with a historical artifact Lord Finch had acquired, a rare ancient manuscript believed to contain a hidden cipher. The crumpled note. Days turned into weeks. Davies found himself walking the labyrinthine corridors of Ravenwood Manor, searching for the clue that would crack the case. He re-interviewed everyone, scrutinizing every nuance, every averted gaze. It was during a final, desperate search of Lord Finch's study that he found it, a small, crumpled piece of paper tucked deep inside a hidden compartment in the desk drawer. The note was written in Lord Finch's shaky hand, clearly a message intended to be found. The truth is in the light, where shadows cannot hide. The Raven's eye sees all. The revelation. The Raven's eye sees all. The phrase echoed in Davies's mind. He looked around the study, his gaze falling upon a large, ornate grandfather clock in the corner. Its pendulum swung back and forth, relentlessly counting time. Above its face, intricately carved into the wood, was the symbol of the Finch family, a stylized raven's head with a single, large eye. He remembered the sudden darkness, the moment the lights went out. What if it wasn't a power surge? What if it was deliberate? He examined the chandelier's wiring, tracing it back to the fuse box in the basement. There, he found a cleverly rigged trip wire, designed to be pulled remotely, killing the power at a precise moment. The unmasking. Davies immediately returned to the ballroom. He stood where Lord Finch had fallen, looking up at the chandelier. And then it hit him. The raven's eye. The single, large crystal on the chandelier, reflecting the light in a peculiar way. He remembered the exact moment of the scream, just as the emergency lights came on. He gathered Lady Eleanor, Marcus Thorne, and Dr. Eris Thorne back into the ballroom. With a dramatic flourish, he explained his theory. Lord Finch knew he was in danger. He knew one of you was planning his demise. The note, "The truth is in the light, where shadows cannot hide," wasn't just a cryptic message. It was a dying man's final clue. He revealed the rigged wiring for the chandelier. The killer manipulated the power, plunging the room into darkness. But why? To create confusion, yes, but also to execute a precise plan. He turned to Dr. Eris Thorne. Dr. Thorne, you are a historian obsessed with artifacts and hidden ciphers. You knew about Lord Finch's rare manuscript, the one believed to contain a secret code. And you knew Lord Finch was planning to reveal its contents at the gala. Eris's face remained impassive. But you, Davies continued, turning to Marcus Thorne, you were closest to Lord Finch, managing his affairs, even embezzling from him. You knew his habits, his fears, his secrets. Then, he faced Lady Eleanor. And you, Lady Eleanor. You were in debt. You stood to gain everything. But you also had something else, an intimate knowledge of the matter, and of your husband. Davies paused, letting the tension build. Lord Finch, in his final moments, knew who attacked him. But he also knew the killer would try to frame another. The raven's eye referred to the unique reflection cast by the chandelier's central crystal. When the emergency lights flickered on, that crystal reflected the very last thing Lord Finch saw before he died. Not the killer's face, but something they were holding, something unique to them, something they didn't realize would be reflected. He paused again, his eyes scanning the faces before him. The letter opener. It was not plunged in by human hand directly. It was propelled. The killer revealed. Davies then revealed the shocking truth. The killer was Marcus Thorne. Marcus, you were desperate. Lord Finch was about to expose your embezzlement. You knew he'd bring the manuscript to the gala, hoping to decipher it, perhaps even finding more secrets within its pages. You rigged the chandelier to go out, creating the perfect window of opportunity. But you didn't approach him directly. You used a slingshot, concealed in your pocket, to fire the letter opener at him from a distance in the darkness, ensuring you wouldn't be seen physically lunging at him. The raven's eye, the reflection in the main chandelier crystal just as the emergency lights flickered on, showed the glint of the letter opener as it left the slingshot, a split second before it struck Lord Finch. He saw the method, not the direct hand. Marcus's composure finally shattered. He lunged at Davies, but was quickly subdued by the officers. The truth, hidden in the light of a single reflection, had finally emerged from the shadows of Ravenwood Manor. The aftermath. Marcus Thorne was arrested and charged with murder. Lady Eleanor, though cleared of the murder, faced her own financial ruin. Dr. Eris Thorne, no longer burdened by his brother's shadow, dedicated his life to deciphering the ancient manuscript, finding solace in history. Ravenwood Manor stands silent once more, its grand halls echoing with the ghost of a gala gone wrong. But now, the silence carries a different weight, the weight of a secret uncovered, a betrayal brought to light, and the enduring legacy of a silent witness, the raven's eye. Sound of wind howling, fading into silence, then a final, faint tick of a clock. What do you think about the silent witness of Ravenwood Manor? Do you believe justice was truly served? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more thrilling true crime stories.